Shalom, shalom. AM to read today, sight to see, hearing to hear today. The ability to speak great things into abundance. I hope that you can feel and walk and journey to the places you need to journey to. If you're up just today, then you have all you need to succeed. You have all you need to succeed. And we're going to start the day off by jumping into this session of reading with SHILO. I'm SHILO, baby. I'm out here. So this next session of who you. Speaking of teacher, Stan Matthews and Azaniah Israel. My brother, Azaniah. So we'll jump into the next two people to read about, which will be Jenneh, Karen Glace, Jenneh Brooks, and Karen Glace. Who blessed you? Who blessed you? Who blessed you, my peoples? Oh, good googly moogly. Today, we are in edit today. Influenced me. Who influenced me? Seek and you shall find. There are several women with whom I have associated myself that have been of a great influence in my life. I can count the number of influential women who contributed to my development into womanhood. I was influenced by positively and negatively by these women, both positively and negatively by these women. Whether we were good or bad, whether they were known or unknown, contrite things that were deemed as both positive and negative influences. Having these influences in my life assisted me to develop this woman I am today. And without each of their contributions, I cannot possibly imagine what my life experiences would have been like. The first person who transformed my life for the positive was my eldest sister, Elaine Brooks. I met Elaine at 2 years, but it wasn't there. And so this is what I was told. Upon her arrival, my me overnight until the return of my father. She said that she would come back from the following, and he returned. On her way back home to her village, my mom was killed in a fatal vehicular accident, never to be seen again. And at some point during my early years of life, I was in the care of my stepmother and other siblings, and I can only be grateful for the blessings I received. Since my sister offered for me to stay with her, or else it would have been 2 fatal losses instead. Because my mother's demise, I had to learn at an early age to become less emotional and more focused on how to survive living with 15 to 20 other siblings. But how was I able to do that at such a tender age? Those people, despite being my blood relatives, were strangers to me. My mother was gone and my father was not someone with whom I was familiar. And I was no longer in the care of my mother, so I had to learn quickly how to fit in. This instant transition led me to my stepmother, my father's wife, who had only one child from my father, and their child passed away at the early age of 13 years old. I quickly learned he had several other children. As time passed, I became part of the family, and I had to earn my way if I was to be viewed as a dignified person rather than a freeloader. My stepmother Carol Washington Brooks was a tough cookie. One thing, Ma, is what we call her. One thing Ma had was a zero tolerance. When it came to addressing our older siblings by their first name, I quickly learned she was the head of her household and everyone had to follow the rules in her home. Cleanliness was one of the rules with no option. So I did what I was told, having no choice but to comply. I quickly did so and kept my head down and my emotions to myself, learning early that what I felt was secondary to what others wanted me to feel. I spent years under the tutelage of my stepmom, and I honestly was grateful for the harsh lessons learned now. She taught me homemaking skills, cooking skills, sewing skills, and my personal lessons about becoming a lady, which I think a lot of people still need that today. Cooking skills, sewing skills. You better go get that singer. Of course, the latter was not taught. It was inferred from what was not expected or not acceptable. After my father's death in 1982, my sister Elaine brought me into the country when I was 10 in Liberia. I was moved from home to home. However, I am very grateful to Sister Elaine for saving my life because if it wasn't for her, I would have been killed along with my mother, and the opportunity to leave Liberia was beyond me. Among the things I am most grateful for is the right to pursue that education in America, because living in Liberia, I doubt I would have been able to receive an education. During my youth, the country had just been immersed in a civil war that caused the lives of thousands of people and many villages. Anyone from my mother's family, whether they were dead or alive, nor where my mother's grave site is, nor a picture of her, what she looks like. I'm so thankful for Sister Elaine, who graciously put a roof on my head and clothes on my back and made sure I was safe. Because of her, I got the opportunity to meet another sister, Mayada Brooks Hoff. And though Mayada, Mayada, I got to meet another wonderful sister, Teresa Brooks. Since Mayada's strongest character was her ambition, and I admire Mayada's desire to enjoy success in America. She was beautiful, friendly, strong, and intelligent. Mayada told me stories of her dreams of going to college and becoming a successful person in the United States. She attended Keene College, where she obtained positive and count on her for life ice. Speak only when spoken to, and always keep God first. And so I went to live with her after my 14th birthday. There she taught me many things, such as how to carry myself as a young woman and to live independently without anyone's control. Mayada said to me one day, "There is nothing more important in life than being a blessing in someone else's life." I could talk to her about anything, and she would come to Sister Elaine's home from time to time, and I would always look forward to seeing her. Sister Mayada didn't have much at that time, but she shared what little she had with me. She introduced me to her mother's side of the family, and they treated Sorry and I like we were blood relatives, and I feel like they are. Since Mayada's mother became my mother, which I called her Mamusha. Her siblings, her aunts, Saduda Clark, Jata Kegley, and Munma Kamaki. Excuse me if I mispronounce any of these names. Miss Jenneh Brooks. Sis Mayata showed me love, something I had never had. She said, Be kind to others because it will come back to you one day. So she encouraged me to keep my opinions about people to myself, nor put anyone down, and that I shouldn't be satisfied with being mediocre. She further taught me not to get excited about anything, which ultimately made me fearful of others' opinions of me, untrustworthy, or more introverted. At that tender age, I was unaware that my life was being groomed for the woman I am today. Thankfully, the positive influences outweigh the negativity I received during early childhood, and I am internally grateful for having a strong relationship with my sisters and with God. My life circumstances have always led me back to the source of my soul and of my very being, and I will always be grateful for Sis Mayada's unconditional love and guidance. My best friend, Miss Ether Tyndall, was positively influenced my life for more than 38 years. Esther is a thoughtful, loving, and very kind person. Although, if you had met her, this would not be your first impression when meeting her due to her serious demeanor. Esther has helped me in so many ways. And as young as she was way ahead of me in her thinking and her beliefs. For she was bright and very intelligent for her age. She has such a beautiful smile that would bring many, many souls to their knees. Esther graduated from Seton Hall University with a bachelor's degree and immediately returned to schooling after Fordham University, where she earned her master's degree. Both of Esther's degrees are in social work. Esther always has time to help anyone in need, especially the elderly in the community, patiently teaching them how to use the computer, taking a recipient of her kindness. Then that all these things Esther was doing helped forge her character and led her to her calling of becoming a social worker. Let her tell it. Despite going to nursing school and almost completing her course studies, she became discouraged and walked away, and it was years later when she decided to return to complete her nursing degree and was denied entry and decided to take a class in a human resource field. There she fell in love with the idea of becoming a social worker, and one day she said, I chose nursing, but social work chose me, and things have been effortless in my life since. When I look back over my life, I now come to realize and understand that this was truly Esther's calling because she was a compassionate heart to helping others. Well, let me take one of my journeys through our childhood. I was about 12 years old when I met Esther, but sadly, friendship between Esther and I was forbidden from the very start because she had come from a well-off family. And one day, I saw her as she was putting out the trash in her backyard, and she said hi, and I replied hi. And she then proceeded to ask me about my accent. That's when I told her I was from Liberia and had recently moved into the neighborhood. That was the extent of our interaction until sometime after my sister, Elaine, introduced herself to Esther's parents. At some point, my sister was invited over for dinner with Esther's family, and that was my first memory of meeting Esther and her family officially at a Thanksgiving dinner where my sister took over a delicious treat of baked turkey with wild rice stuffing. Esther would later tell me that day was sealed in her mind forever because it was the only time she enjoyed eating turkey and wished never to have it any other way. You see, little did they know that I had a love of cooking. We were not only to go outside much, we were not allowed to go outside much. So engaging with our neighbors was not exactly welcomed, especially since we were one of 4 Black families in our community of whites. And I believed we were the 4th Black family in the neighborhood. After meeting Esther and her brother, Chris, her father made it clear that they were not encouraged to keep company with my family. We were seldom seen and less heard since their household was considered well-to-do. Despite her father's wishes, Esther continued to be my friend. And since that time, she and I remained and maintained a friendship of sisterhood for most of our adult lives. Over the years, I have watched her growth and determination to do something different. She ignored the naysayers and focused on what was propelling us to be friends rather than what was being said against our friendship. We both eventually moved out of our family's home and into our own place. I had to do that much sooner than I wanted. However, we remained in contact thanks to our bond and our friendship. As I recall, our trials and tribulations, I can only cite the many times we were each other's support and that caused us both to become successful in our own right. I always asked Esther for personal advice. And when you ask her for advice, she would ask you, how do you want it? Do you want the truth? Other way to tell exactly how she felt. Although she was bold when I sometimes just needed her to listen. I never had to question her integrity. And I knew I would get the truth from her because she didn't have two tongues. Esther and I are just 1 year apart, and she helped me believe that my situation was only temporary and that one day I will look back. I didn't have much life experience. My self-esteem was also so low, and I always called on her to help, to pick her brains, and that continues to this, especially when I was going through some of my most difficult times in my life. Everybody believes money is the answer to itself after time. We were unwilling to succumb to and be defeated, and regardless of the frustrations and failures, we kept ourselves encouraged, especially with keeping our eyes stayed on God. As a result of having a sound relationship with God, our peace was constantly tested. However, his peace became mine to remain focused. Esther quickly recognized, once out of her on her own, that the lessons of God created a stronghold in her life. And as a result of that, it gave me the momentum to look forward and work harder in spite of whatever hardship I encountered at that time. As time rolled by, I tried to encourage myself in the same mindset. I credited my immediate success to surrounding myself and those who surrounded me. With having an open mind and being willing to be uncomfortable in order to get comfortable and further become successful. She has such growth and a promising future, and I further believe that her determination and unwillingness to settle for no will bring her good fortune as she continues to explore new things and will rise to new challenges. When you have a friend who not only has but speaks her truth, it's considered twice blessed. Everything Esther has ever done for me has been nothing but extraordinary, beyond words, and in fact, I consider her one of my beloved sisters. How Zari influenced me. I have always dreamt of being a mother. So the days grew closer with just 1 month to go before Zari's delivery. On May 2nd of 1997, I went to the hospital for my regular doctor checkup, not knowing that day would be the day she would be born. Shit. What, you thought you was just fat? I didn't even know I was pregnant. Not knowing that day would be the day she would be born. The nurse came into the room and said, "Mrs. Brooks, you have been on the stress test for hours and there is no movement. We are concerned. The doctor will be in a few minutes to pull amniotic fluid from your stomach." The doctor confirmed that the test was necessary because there was no movement. It was necessary to run this test to make sure your baby is doing okay. I waited about 30 minutes. Then the nurse came back into the room and said, Mrs. Brooks, we have to induce you right away because your daughter isn't breathing. And so 3.5 hours later, she was born, and they hurriedly took her away. She was born. Oh, and Louisiana coming out. The day had finally arrived for her delivery, but I didn't get to meet her because after giving birth, she was suddenly whisked away because she wasn't breathing. Although I wasn't very worried. All she would say is that she's going to be okay. And so 2 days had passed and I didn't get to see my baby girl. On the third day, nurse came into my room and said my baby had drank a full bottle of Pedialyte and that Zari had the lungs of an opera singer. 2 hours later, I finally got to meet her, my little 7 pounds, 5 ounces little girl. She was just perfect for me. And if I never have any children again, I was so grateful to God for her. Zari is like my best friend, and not to be taken lightly, though I am still her mother. She has played a major part in my life, and because of her coming into my life, I am a mother today. I never knew what true love felt like until I met her. You see, previously, I had 2 miscarriages, each at 5.5 months. After my second miscarriage, I decided to give up because the loss was very emotional and painful for me. But my plans wasn't God's plans. This pregnancy had lots of challenges for me. At 4, I had to have my cervix stitched up, and was advised by my doctor to stay off of my feet. And during those 4 months, I had to keep my feet propped at 40 degrees to hold her in. I was only allowed to go to the restroom and to meet my doctor's appointments. She would sleep all day and move around my belly vampire. Zari was determined to be her father's, affectionately nicknamed her father's. Oh, that don't make no sense. Her father's. How many fathers she got? Her father's affectionately nicknamed me Vampire. Zari was determined to be here, and since she came into my life, she has been nothing but an inspiration for me. As she grew up, I noticed how she used to mimic me a lot, from how I walked. She said she was going to be like me in the way that I love doing various crafts and DIY projects. That's exactly how she came to be. I'm so happy and inspired by her determination and love her creativity. Ethic and her courage to become an entrepreneur to make one of the most precious and cherished life has ever given me. Did I tell me some cereal? You sure can. How you feeling? Good. You feel good? Yes, oh, you feel good in daddy's arms. You feel so good. Oh, my son. Oh, I got my son. Oh, I got him. Oh, the Most High gave him to me. Oh, you mine. This for mine. This for me. You for me. You for me. You me. Oh, you mine. Oh, my son. Oh, praises. Oh, praises, you mine. Yeah. My boy. Oh, my boy. Oh, look at my boy. Oh, he mine. Oh, you're so handsome, you mine. You feeling okay this morning? Yes, sir. All right. I love you, man. All right. Go get you some cereal. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Good googly moogly. My relationship with Zari remains to be one of the most precious and cherished life that I've ever given. That life has ever given me. She was never once disrespected me. She encouraged me to be strong, even though she's young, and she would give advice. She attended St. Andrew's Episcopal School from 6th to 12th grade and graduated in 2015 and received her high school diploma. She got her graduate degree studying television and radio with a minor in communication management and design, graduating in 2019. She was currently attending American University studying marketing and will graduate this year in 2022. She aspires to create a space for friends and colleagues to express themselves, and her ambition keeps her going. I know she will be a success, and I'm so proud of her achievements. I want to dedicate this to my family and to my parents, Mom, Miata Zadua, and Dad, Uriah T.J. Brooks. Thanks for giving me my life. And rest in peace, others. Carolyn Washington Brooks, Kamokai, Musu Kamokai. Thanks to all my sisters, especially Elaine Brooks, for saving my life and for giving me hope for the future. And to Mayada Brooks Hoff, Teresa Brooks, Geneva Brooks, Angie Brooks, and Esther Tyndale. I also dedicate this to my brothers, Chris Brooks, Roland Hoff, Thomas Benson, Baya Benson, Lahai Shwari, Victor Brooks, Urias Brooks. Thanks to all my aunts, Sadatu, Clark, Jatu, Kingley, Bendu, Fabule, Sayata, Sindamine, and to my uncles, Peter Clark and Willie Kegel, to my cousins, Jojo Isaac, Marilyn Sawyer, Faudia Henry, Ralph Henry, Patricia Kamara, Chris Henry, Marty Henry, Angel McLean Freeman, to my nieces, Gamelia Milton, Liberta Jenkins, Ramadi Hoff, Alan Maala, Tanich Sandamani, Brianna McLean, Cameron Brooks, Lily Tyndale, and to my nephews, Ellington Brooks, Urias Brooks, Justin Brooks, Lorenzo Hoff, Quincy Hoff, Toomey Tyndale, to my friends, Lois Harris, Tanya Young, Ralph Henderson, Patricia Henderson, Lark Daniel, Ramona Jones, Elizabeth Babatunde, Carol Boyd, Eddie Boyd, Tina Payne, Michelle Walker Davis, Lincoln Halley, and Shalana Halley. I am everlastingly grateful to the Almighty God for giving me an extraordinary family and friends. Thank you for all sharing your life with me and loving me just as I am. Jenneh Brooks. Jenneh Brooks was born in Liberia and migrated to the United States at the age of 10. She is very passionate about helping people who are in need and encourages others to help the less fortunate. No one knows what the future holds. She is inspired by her better half, Stanley Matthews. Stan, thank you for all that you have helped me to accomplish, for I am eternally grateful. And to my daughter, Zara, and stepson, Elijah, thanks for loving me just as I am. And that was Jenneh Brooks. Jenneh Brooks. Let's read Miss Karen Glace. Miss Karen Glace. When I was reading all them names at the end, man, it sounded like I'm at an award ceremony or something like that. I'm reading off all the starring in this movie, Ralph Huff. Bring it, let me see. No, you good. You're all right. Karen Glace, key partners of my soul circle. Key partners of my soul circle. The core contributors of my soul circle. Who in your soul circle? For as long as I can remember, my dad was my rock. There was always been an affinity between us. This is the first relationship that has transformed my life. Curtis Glace, my father, a firm disciplinarian, is my number one fan and biggest cheerleader and has always seen the best in me. He provided the guidance and encouragement I needed to be who I am today and has loved me unconditionally. From this connection, I got my love of music and connected to my three core values: integrity, honesty, and understanding. Daddy has a way of knowing my needs or what I need to be told. If anything a boy better, that's what it should be. This has been my way of thinking in everything I do. I attribute this to my independence. He was preparing me. There was a superhero. He has always nurtured. His life was not easy because he was lost at an early age. His mom left to pave the way for a better life, and he lost his brother Oswald in a fire. He was raised by his blind grandmother, Albertina Smith. He didn't know or have a relationship. My dad has told me stories of his humble beginnings, raised in what we call the ghetto. This is how he developed his love for the steel pan and became a highly respected man. And the second highest ranked in St. Lucia Cadet Corps Army. He is still very much respected and admired today. His focus was on me excelling in academics, ensuring I received private lessons from the best teachers on the island. He was stern when it came to disciplining me. Sometimes I felt like I was a cadet. He trained me to strive for excellence and to be impeccable. To my dad, I cherish my time and opportunity to spend time with you. I am grateful for the laughs. I am thankful for the comfort and knowing you always have the best response for anything I am dealing with. I distinctively remember calling you crying after yet another failed relationship, and you said nothing was wrong with you. You embodied the qualities that Auntie Lucia, Auntie Jew, Auntie Gertrude, and Auntie Joyce. That statement has forever changed how I view myself, and I understand that I do not have to settle for anyone who is not deserving of me. I have always admired those powerful, beautiful, accomplished women of the Glace family, of the Glace family. Dad, I love you and I'm grateful to have an amazing father like you. Thank you. In October 2018, when I said goodbye to my aunt, Julian Morgan, I cried for the first time and did not know why. This was the first time I reacted to that way after my multiple stays and visits with her. She laughed when she hugged me and said, "Hey, why are you crying? Girl, what's wrong with you?" I think on a soulful level, I know this was the last time I would have had a full experience of you. And the woman I have admired from the time I was a little girl. This happened just before COVID, and what would be the start of the health change of her health challenges. So my auntie Jew, my soul mother, aunt, and friend. As a child, I remember being connected to you. We created a mother-daughter relationship I always longed for with my mother. You provided a space of comfort, love, and creativity. Although our family has multiple entrepreneurs, I have always admired your strength, determination, class, and beauty. Through my eyes, she is a superwoman. Auntie Ju owned a boutique and fabric store. From the age of 8, I spent all my breaks from school with her and at her store year after year. It was there I created a dream of owning my own business. I wanted to be the boss just like her. I admired the way she interacted with her customers. She had a natural way of being great with people, even with the most challenging customers. She spoke her mind while being direct, sometimes sarcastic, where it stung the receiver while getting her point across. I also admired the way her employees respected her, and she treated them as family. Everyone loves Auntie Ju. Being the first female of her siblings, she was always available to step in and was able to manage all the distractions that would come her way. She had excellent time management and organizational skills while being a wife and a mother. Ooh, that one right there is much needed. I need whoever my wife be. I need her to have those things. Good time management and organizational skills. I don't hear them excuses. She had excellent. Man, this don't work. It's possible. She had excellent time management skills. She had excellent time management and organizational skills while being a wife and a mother. She is talented and creative. She has an eye for fashion and was always working on a sewing project or planning family events. I also got my love of plants from her. I admired and enjoyed how she talked to her plants while watering them. She most definitely has a green thumb. My fondest memory was spending the night with her before my first communion. She styled my hair and made adjustments to my dress. We watched the original Parent Trap movie, making it one of my favorite movies. She was my first communion experience. She made my first communion experience a memorable one. She taught me etiquette. Oh shit, we need some of that today too. I always look forward to spend time with my Aunt Ju. Aunt Ju, thank you for creating a safe space for me to grow. Thank you for your guidance, for all the skills you taught me, and for the beautiful memories and the gift of being a contribution to others. It's amazing how God can turn anything negative into something positive, and tomorrow is not promised. I remember the first time I met my sister, Asher Tamar Glace. She was 4 years old. She was wearing a red and white plaid, cute little dress and white sandals. Her feet were so cute and tiny. I fell in love with her instantly. I was so happy that I had another sister, even at that young age. She was dressed fashionably and looked like a doll. I remember reaching out for her hand when Daddy said, "This is your sister, Tamara." I heard about her years before from my mom, who was crying and was sad. Since her creation was because of an affair, my connection with Tamara was unique. Being an older sister is truly a privilege and a huge responsibility. I admired Tamara because she marched to the beat of her own drum, and I knew she was destined for greatness. She was great and greatly impacted my life. At the time, I didn't realize how great of an impact she would be. Father's Day 2007 is a day that forever altered my life. At about 4:30 a.m., my phone rings. I look at the caller ID. It's my dad. "Good morning, Daddy. It's Father's Day. Shouldn't I be calling you?" There was an awkward silence. I then said, "Who is this? Daddy Glace?" He said, "No." I said, "Mom." He said, "No." "Who?" He said, "Tomorrow." I said, "What's wrong with tomorrow?" He said, "She was shot." I said, "What hospital is she at?" "She is dead." My father's monotone voice, "She is dead." I am reminded of these words. You see, just the night before, I dialed her number, and before hitting send, I hung up. This could have been the fifth time I would have called and left her a message, but she did not return any of my previous calls. We were in the midst of one of our big sister, little sister disagreements. You see, my little sister, Asher, Tamara, Glace, was strong headed. She was giving me the silent treatment. This was one of her things. I lived with second guessing myself for 3 years. I would have given anything to talk to her one last time. What if she picked up my call? And that one call could have changed the sequence of events that would follow. I experienced anger like never before. I didn't believe in death penalty, but I wanted the death penalty for each and every one who played a part in her death. The anger consumed me for years. 3 years later, I walked into the courtroom, hopefully for the final time, anticipating that the brothers responsible for her death would be sentenced to death. In the courtroom, across the room, a woman was crying. I believe she was the mother of the brothers responsible from tomorrow's death. I realized that my family wasn't the only one suffering. There was a woman who was mourning the possibility of losing both of her sons. In that instant, I had a different experience. I felt compassion for another human being. And then I got to experience forgiveness. Tomorrow, my love, I am so grateful for the opportunity to have experienced you in human form and for the difference you have made in my life and everyone you touched. You influenced my life in such a huge way. You are the reason I am committed to transforming this world. I connected to humanity. I really got present that we are not here in human form forever, and we all have a role to play in this game of life. I got that when each human being is living the life of their dreams and they get present to what's possible, their powers will be used for good. No other parent will ever wake up to the news that their child was killed from something senseless. There will be a world where we can all live in harmony. You are the reason I am a coach committed to each human being living and creating extraordinary lives, and we will have a better world for it all. Thank you for the gift of forgiveness. Your death impacted everyone in our circle, even people who didn't know you. It united my mom and your mom. My mom came to love you as if you were her own. And during sadness, there is joy. Your essence will forever be alive. You are truly special. You are talented and creative. I am grateful for all your memories. You have influenced my life in such an amazing way, and because of this experience, you have created a ripple effect of love and generosity through me to others. I love you. In my opinion, life is made up of people we meet and experiences we hold and what we choose to do with it all. Live each day to the fullest. So to Daddy, Aunt Ju, tomorrow, thank you for your memories and the emotions, the experiences, the lessons, and most of all, thank you for sharing your life with me. My acknowledgments. My acknowledgments and expression of love and gratitude. There's no greater gift than to be grateful for our lives. And I write this dedication to everyone in the expressions in my and the experiences in my life who have and will continue to contribute to my life. Most and foremost, I would like to thank God for giving me the gift of life and the opportunity to serve him daily in the here and now. I want to thank my mother, Sylvia Mary Glace, and father, Curtis Nathaniel Glace, for being a conduit and partnering with God to bring me into human form. I know parenthood didn't come with a manual, and I am eternally grateful for all the sacrifices and challenges seen and unseen. Most of all, I am thankful for all you did to ensure you provided a great life for me. You got your job done. You raised a remarkable woman who has no complaints and has nothing but love and admiration for you. Thank you. In my eyes, you are the best parents any child is lucky to have. The following is a list of my many loves. I want to acknowledge each of you because I want you to know that I am eternally grateful for your roles and for being part of my life. I want to acknowledge my grandparents, Francis and Joseph, Marion Jarvis, Patrick Glace, and my extended grandmothers, Lucy Bailey and Gloria Samuel. Thank you for the contribution to my life and the roles you played. I am who I am today partly because of the values and the environment you created. To my grandparents, my great-grandparents, Albanetta Smith and Mark Claude, thank you for teaching me that there are people in the world with disabilities. We are all equal, and we can overcome anything and still be amazing. To Mom, Rosa Glace, and Papa, Antoine Glace, thank you for being the pillars of the Glace family. I am eternally grateful to all three of you for your role in raising my dad. The values you instilled in him are now a part of me. To my sister, Kamina Asher, Tamara, and Kayla, thank you for being on this journey with me and causing the leader in me. I love being your big sister. You are all so loved. To my aunts and uncles, especially Cynthia Lawrence, Beverly Sanderford, Marcia Augustin, Ivan Augustin, John Augustin, Vern Augustin, Robert Augustine, Marcella Augusta, Jeline Morgan, Lucia Lubin, Moretta Moore, Joyce Desting, Keitha Glace, and Claudine Springer. Thank you for being a great role models and for the difference you made and continue to make. To Uncle Kent Glace, a special thanks to you for my beautiful smile. To my dear friends, Elizabeth Bruce, Elizabeth Smith, Carolina Oliver, Yolanda Paredes, Alicia Khan, Carrollton Badger, Karen Pierre, Vincent Damon, and Tom Minson. Thank you for being true friends, encouraging me at the time in my life when I was at my lowest and reminding me of who I am. I am so blessed to have wonderful friends like you. I will forever love you. Man, I felt like I was a teacher in the beginning of the class when they reading off to make sure everybody was here. Ooh-wee. Garth Sanderford, my Gemini twin, thanks for being straight with me. I can always count on you to keep it real with me. And Kirk Francis, a heartfelt special acknowledgement for being my first friend here in Florida and keeping the faith even when I didn't have it. Most of all, thank you for being the one to reconnect and remind me of my relationship with God. You are both so loved. To my cousin, Derek Glace, and my friend, Andrea Turner, thank you for nursing me back to health. Know you are with me on this journey. Know you have generated a ripple effect. You played a role in my healing process so that I could make a difference in the world. To Boniface, there's going to be a whole one. To Boniface Nyongoyo, thank you for investing in Coach Glace. Coach Glace would not exist without you and your faith in me. A heartfelt thank you to all my clients and my team. As Coach Glace, I get to show you and be my best self in service of you. Coach Glace is alive because of you. To my cousins, Judy Hercules, Mark Hercules, Sherlyn Lawrence, and Gasper Saltabus, thank you for all you provide ongoingly with the business. To Holly Vaughn and Gloria Charles, thank you for being my accountability partners. To the board of members of Operation Transform, I am so grateful to share this journey with you and the miracles we are creating. A special thanks to Grace Felix for always being a yes when I call with my crazy yet ideas. You are my partner in believing. I would also like to acknowledge my mentors, Ion Sandy, my first coach, and thank you for pulling me out of the darkness. My landmark leaders and family who saw and awakened the authentic me. Thanks to Gary John Bishop, Ryan Matthew, and Faye Steele for being my listeners. Mary Morrissey and Bob Proctor for having the power to believe in the unseen and sharing it with me. Tony Robbins for unleashing the power within. Marshall Seiler for reprogramming my subconscious mind. Stan Matthews, thank you for your vision and stand for our business community. Finally, to Pastor Gene Pritchard, I am truly grateful for your spiritual guidance in grooming me to be the best Christian I can be. I'm honored to be in this time and space with you. Thank you for everything you do to make this world work for all. People will forget what you said. People forget what you did. But never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. Love, Karen. Karen Glace is the first of 4 girls. I am a daughter, sister, and proud aunt of 2 nieces, Anaya and Jenneh, and my nephew, Keon. I am from the island of St. Lucia, and I am proud to always call it my home. I am the CEO of Coach Glace Coaching and Consulting, a personal coaching and development company designed to help people create the life of their dreams and to be unstoppable in the face of challenges while making multi-million-dollar business owners. I am also the founder of Operation Transform, a nonprofit designed to transform the lives of young people and young adults in the Caribbean. We are creating future leaders here and now, which is pivotal in changing our world for the better. In addition to my key roles, I serve as the Vital Chief Financial Officer, VCFO of Matthews Business Network, MBN. MBN is a national platform with global reach with over 2,500 Black and Brown CEOs. And that was Miss Karen Glace. Miss Karen Glace. We have read today Jenneh Brooks and Miss Karen Glace, and about who blessed them, who influenced them, who helped them to be out here. We'll come back the next time, maybe later on today. Might come back later on today with Miss Sherrod or Mr. I don't know, with Sherrod Ledee and Violet V. Brown. Sherrod Ledee and Violet V. Brown. We're almost halfway through the book, man. We're almost halfway through the book. We definitely got a good bit going. We're almost halfway there. I think after the next reading session, we'll probably be halfway through the book. We'll probably be at the halfway point. But we're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna try to finish this thing this week. This week, that's what's on the agenda, to finish who blessed you, who blessed you. Speaking to the Children of Israel, curated by George Frazier and Stan Matthews and Azaniah Israel. I hope that y'all find something in the reading that y'all can learn and grow from. Apply to your life if possible. Whew. One day, man, I've been told to write a book for so long, maybe I might write one. It was called Black Forest Gump. Adventures of the Black Forest Gump. One of my homeboys, one of the brothers, he said, "You always, man, you do everything, man. You done everything. You got so many, stories and adventures." The Adventures of Shiloh. I need to write it in a comic, like a comic book, so you can have images. You can see shit. But we're gonna keep working on growth, man. We're gonna keep working on growing every day. The growth mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Growth. So what we need in our life, some growth. But appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming into this session of Reading with Shiloh. Oh, praises! Oh, funky. Oh. I love that I'm able to look at you and I love that. I'm grateful that the Most High allowed you to open your eyes this morning. Look at you. Look what I can see. Well, look what you can see. When you open your eyes, I can see you and you can see me. You could smell, you could talk, you could hear, you could think, you could feel, you can walk. You have everything you need to succeed, DJ. You have everything that you need to succeed. All you have to do is use it. You have to use. But you right, you can't. Because you must. That's right. If I can do it, you can do it. That's sure right. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can succeed, you can succeed. And you have everything you need to succeed today. So let's get it. Oh! Oh, my boy!
Can I make some cereal?
Oh, yes, sir. I don't know if your brother left you some milk.
I left him some milk.
All right.
I used some of it.
Hey, well, y'all have everything y'all need to succeed today. So let's push through. Let's push through today. You can see, you can hear, you can think, you can smell, you can talk, you can walk. Man, you can use your hands and feel. You have everything you need to succeed. And even if you don't have those, you still have, if you don't have some of those, you still have the other abilities. And you can apply those other abilities to hopefully help out in the areas that you're lacking, and you still have everything that you need to succeed. It's there. It's there for you. Use it. Use it. Do not abuse it. Use it. Use the things that the Most High gave you to succeed in life. And let's keep pushing one day at a time. One day at a time. And be thankful and grateful for every moment that you have. Every chance you get to open your eyes, be thankful. Because many people don't get the chance to open their eyes. Somebody didn't wake up. And because they didn't wake up, they're going to be in a week. But anyway, man, that was today's session. Today's session of Reading with Shiloh, man. Speaking to the children of Israel. Who blessed you? As my Israel. George Fraser and Stan Matthews, man. They out here and I'm out here. We reading. We read. We have come, we saw, we conquered, man. One book at a time. One session at a time. One section at a time. One chapter at a time. One page at a time. Line upon line, here a little, there a little, until we finish the book, until we find something that we can learn and grow from. We're going to keep pushing, man, day to day, day to day. I'm out here. It's Shiloh. Shalom, everybody. I hope you have a good one. I'm out. I'm out here.